Hello everyone, welcome to Biology Simplified, and today we will discuss about bacterial diseases. So let us start the topic. So the first bacterial disease that we're going to study is typhoid. Now this Salmonella typhi is the bacteria which causes typhoid in human beings. And this Salmonella typhi is a rod-shaped bacteria. Okay, so this is a bacilli or a rod-shaped bacteria which causes the disease typhoid in human beings. The disease is spread by contaminated food and water. So when the food and water is contaminated with the feces of the infected person, so therefore this causes this disease which is typhoid. Okay, so houseflies can carry the pathogens from the feces of the infected person to the food or the water that we are ingesting, and it can cause disease in the healthy person who is ingesting or who is intaking the food which is contaminated with the feces of the infected person. So this is the mode of transmission of the disease typhoid. And which is the confirmatory test for typhoid? It is the Vidal test. So when the patient is suffering from typhoid, the doctor is basically confirming the disease typhoid with this test, which is Vidal test. Okay. Let us understand what are the symptoms of the disease. Now, the symptoms are, first and foremost, it is the constant high fever. So this constant high fever generally prevails in the first and the second week, which is followed gradually by the lower fever in the subsequent third and the fourth week in the duration of this disease. All right. So therefore, we can say a constant high fever in the first and the second week, which is followed by a gradually decreased fever in the third and the fourth week. Extreme weakness is experienced by the patient, stomachache, constipation, loss of appetite, headache, and if the case is severe, the bacteria can even cause the intestinal perforations. Okay, so bacteria can perforate the intestinal linings, and it can even cause death in the severe cases. All right, so these are the symptoms of the disease typhoid. Next is, what are the preventive measures that can be taken so that the disease does not spread? So first and foremost is the proper community sanitation. Fine. So when we are maintaining good hygienic conditions around us, when we are taking following good community sanitation around us, there are less chances that our food and our water would be contaminated with the pathogens. Fine, and there would be less houseflies also, which are spreading the disease. So therefore, proper community sanitation plus personal cleanliness are the two main areas which can be working as preventive measures for the disease. And then we can also take the typhoid vaccines, which are of course lessening the severity of the disease. Next is, Mary Mellon was nicknamed as Typhoid Mary. Mary Mellon को Typhoid Mary के नाम से जाना जाता था. She was a cook by profession and she was also a typhoid carrier. So she used to prepare food for people. But since she was a typhoid carrier also, therefore she continued to spread typhoid for several years through the food which she used to prepare. Okay, so since she was a cook by profession and she was also a typhoid carrier, and therefore the food which she used to serve to people was also contaminated with typhoid. Okay, so therefore she is named as Typhoid Mary. I hope the disease is clear. Now next we are moving to another bacterial disease, which is pneumonia. Now, pneumonia is caused by bacteria, which is Streptococcus pneumoniae and Haemophilus influenzae. Okay, so Streptococcus pneumoniae and Haemophilus influenzae causes pneumonia in human beings, and it is the disease which infect the alveoli of the lungs. Okay, so the pathogen is inhaled through the respiratory route, and it is reaching the bronchioles and alveoli, and it is affecting the bronchioles and the alveoli in the lungs. Okay, so alveoli are getting filled with the fluid. These alveoli and bronchioles, they get filled with the fluid, and once they are filled with the fluid, it is decreasing their respiratory efficiency. So once they are filled with the fluid, the exchange of gases cannot happen properly, and therefore this is decreasing the respiratory efficiency of the lungs. All right, and therefore alveoli, once they are filled with the fluid, the efficiency decreases, and so it is the disorder of the respiratory tract. How does it spread? It spreads by inhaling the droplets or aerosols from the infected person. So these droplets will be carrying the microorganism, and they would be inhaled. They would be inhaled through the respiratory tract, and they would be entering the body, and then they reaches up till the bronchiole and alveoli, and therefore decreasing the respiratory efficiency of the lungs. All right. So this is how pneumonia is caused in human beings. Now, what are the symptoms of the disease? The symptoms are fever, chills, cough, headache, and in severe cases, the patient also experiences these lips and fingers which are turning grayish to bluish in color. So the lips and the fingers in the patients are changing color in severe cases, and they are becoming grayish and bluish in color. Okay, so therefore these are the cases which are severely pneumonic. All right. Let us talk about common bacterial diseases of human beings and their pathogens, which are bacteria. Okay, here in this case. So the first disease which is caused by bacteria that we're talking about is cholera, and it is caused by bacteria Vibrio cholerae. Next is tetanus, which is again a bacterial disease caused by Clostridium tetani. So you can remember with the name tetany, it resembles tetanus. So tetanus is caused by Clostridium tetani. Next is diphtheria, which is caused by Corynebacterium diphtheriae. Again, you can remember this with the name of the bacterium itself. Diphtheria causes diphtheria. Fourth one is tuberculosis caused by the bacterium Mycobacterium tuberculosis. Okay, so Mycobacterium tuberculosis causes the disease tuberculosis in human beings. Next is leprosy. Leprosy is caused by, again, a category of mycobacteriums, which is Mycobacterium leprae. Next is syphilis. Syphilis is caused by Treponema pallidum bacteria. Gonorrhea, which is caused by Neisseria gonorrhoeae. Anthrax is caused by bacteria Bacillus anthracis. Okay, so this is how you can remember anthrax with anthracis. All right, so these were some of the common diseases which are caused by bacteria in human beings. Hope you have liked the video. Stay tuned with us, subscribe the channel, and press the bell icon so that you can receive notifications for our next video. Thank you.